The other thing we do is that when I ask people, what are you good at? Most people say the same thing. I'm good at a lot of things. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. Yeah. Uh, or can you do that too? And oh yeah, I can do that too. But to get things done, you don't want a general contractor doing everything in the house. You want the plumber doing the plumbing, the electrician, just like years ago, when Verizon first got into the home internet business, I was working with them, and they said, "Oh, we can do it all. We can, we're going to put the fiber optics in the home." And I was at my house, and the guy was downstairs, and he put the fiber optics in, and then he came upstairs in his work boots after digging a trench in my backyard. He says, "Now I'm just going to reprogram your computer here to set." And the notion that the same person who was digging the trench was going to touch my computer, even though I'm sure he's well qualified, I just didn't. So part of what we try to do is say, look, once you determine where you want to win, we pick a team that has a few experts, because if you're good at everything, you're going to be average at everything. Like everything in life, if you want to do something really well, you want to find somebody who's done it 100 times, not somebody who's watched a YouTube video and says, "Oh, I can do this too." Whether it's building a website or doing an ad or writing a proposal or making a product, or I'll deliver it on time. And that's not, if you look at how companies succeed, it's usually not on the best idea. I worked with FedEx for years. Lots of people said, "Oh, we'll deliver your package." They were really good at delivering it, and they made the promise, if you want absolute certainty that if I put this in somebody's hand, it's going to be somewhere else in 48 hours. Post office can say, "Oh, I deliver stuff too." And so it's better to be great at one thing than okay at five.
That's so powerful. Yeah, it's very hard to do, I imagine. But I think and it sounds like when you become excellent at the thing that you do, whatever you as an individual, or imagine that your brand decides that you are going to kind of hang your hat on and say, this is what we do best. In order to reach excellence, you probably have to really spend as much time, energy, and resources that you can at that to really kind of break through the noise. Do you
Right, and
find that?
focus on what you're good at as a leader too. To talk, I was a better creative thinker, not so great with like, here are the 12 steps you need to do to get from this great idea to something happening. So you need to be self-aware. I tended to surround myself with people that were good at the things that, or great at the things that I was just okay at. And if I think about the things that helped me succeed most, it was putting together teams or having a team around me that allowed me to focus on my strength, but surrounded it, because no one wins in business with I got a great idea for an ice cream. You have to get all the way from here's the idea to it's really great tasting and it's not melting when I give it to you and it's at the right location. In other words, there are lots of parts to that journey, and execution is more important than the idea. And we're thinking about where you sit with your business and saying, great idea, good team, but how do we make sure we execute well?